Good morning to the show that is on in the morning. Thank you for coming today. We've got a great group of guests with us. One of my favorites is back in studio. We have the sheriff in studio this morning. We'll be talking to him about all sorts of things, vehicular related, I'm guessing. E-bikes for sure.
Oh, God.
We were talking about that yesterday. Office immigration enforcement strategy. Maybe we'll get there. The plans for the old jail. We'll also be discussing mental health during this Mental Health Awareness Month. We will get to all that and more, but first, Bozard Ford. Since 1949, Bozard Ford Lincoln has been more than just a dealership. It is a family-owned beacon of trust right here in St. Augustine. Founded on the principles of honesty, integrity, and community service, the Bozard family tradition continues to thrive through generations. Their state-of-the-art facility features 91 climate-controlled service bays and a quick lane for no appointment-needed maintenance. Plus, enjoy the comforts of their customer lounge with Wi-Fi and the unique flavors of Ford's garage, restaurant, and bar. Bozard Ford is the proud recipient of the prestigious Triple Crown Award and named Florida's Dealer of the Year by Dealer Rater. Their team is dedicated to providing an enjoyable, efficient experience. Bozard Ford Lincoln offers the best pricing, selection, and service. Visit Bozard Ford Lincoln today, just off I-95 and State Road 16. Your satisfaction is their mission, and they are driven to inspire. Also, a big shout out to all of our great sponsors: Vitus Roofing, Old Town Trolley, Bin 39 Wine Bar. We've got BNS Signs, Chiba Hut Toasted Subs, St. Augie's Pizza, Chris Lucero Bail Bonds, and St. Augustine Handy House. Support all of our wonderful sponsors and support us with your likes, comments, and shares. You can find us on YouTube, subscribe, do all the things. You can help Rebecca with that gas money for the Campulence by sending stars right here on Facebook. Send some stars for the sheriff. You may not have heard that our app is updated and in the Apple App Store. It has new features like a playlist for Bollocks this evening. You've got the 904 Vault and direct links to St. Johns County, City of St. Augustine, and St. Augustine Beach public meetings. Take your 904 fandom to the next level with our app. Good morning, fellas.
Hey, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
That was half the show. Your sponsors.
Yeah.
I gotta go now. I got a memorial service. That's a great thing to have.
We like that, Bravo.
That's not a bad thing to have.
They stayed with us.
Yes.
With the change.
That's
so
phenomenal.
We're super happy. And,
Yeah, excited for you.
and our numbers are showing that we're good that they stayed with us.
Oh, that's good.
Our numbers are good.
Our numbers
People, it's like cops. They don't like change, and then when you change, they don't like change that you change. I mean, they just don't like it.
Yeah,
but
if we change
that's good.
again,
Yeah,
they're going to be upset when
they'll
we
come back
change.
around.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, awesome.
They stuck with me.
I'm excited for you. So far.
So far.
Yeah.
I haven't completely blown it
Yeah,
yet.
if you're like cops, one incident and they're long, they dump you. Yeah, bad habits.
It's not our second term.
Hey, touche. Nicely said. You know I am. This second term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Blake, are you still alive back there?
Blake?
Yeah, yes, I am indeed alive back
Hey,
here.
we can see
good
your
morning.
beautiful punum.
Yep, the producer cam's finally back.
Yeah, we love that.
Hey.
Yeah.
It's nice to see your face, Blake.
Is it?
Oh,
Of course it is.
yes,
Be
it
like
is.
that.
Yep.
Oh, we've got a question of the day.
Yeah, we do have a question of the day, and I want to hear the sheriff's answer on this because it tells me a lot about a human being when they
pressure.
answer this question.
Okay.
I'm safe if I say Kendall. Kendall.
Always.
You refer to Kindle, whatever Kindle gives you.
Yeah.
All right, salsa, queso, or guacamole.
Yep.
You can only pick one.
Oh, really?
I know. You can
Three
only pick
go
one.
in, only one.
You can
I'm
only
a
pick
queso
one.
guy.
Yeah.
You're a queso
I'm a
guy.
queso guy, yeah. And the best queso I've ever had is in Reno, Nevada. I mean, it was so cheap. If you were to call Kendall right now, if you text Kendall right now, Troy, and ask her, what's the best queso you have? She would say Reno, Nevada.
Reno, Nevada.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What was so great about
It was so freaking cheesy. It was like eating this bottle. Yes, it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now I want to change my answer. Now I want to go to Reno.
I'm queso too.
You're
We
queso?
talked earlier this week. I don't like vegetables, and salsa's just all vegetables.
Yeah.
It's all the junk in the stuff, and I can't do it.
Yeah. So Blake, what you got, man?
It has to be queso for me as well. Like no veggies for me as well.
Really?
No, I can't. I'm also allergic to avocado, so I can't have
Oh,
guacamole.
God bless you.
You
My
can't have
wife. Oh, you got to talk to
guacamole.
my.
Oh, my
Gosh.
word.
See, I love all three.
I like
See, me too.
spicy guacamole,
Yeah,
but it don't
yeah.
like me.
Yeah.
I love all three.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go love.
Yeah.
I'm married to the guacamole, so she loves the
Yeah.
guacamole,
Yeah.
but
She's the
I
guacamole.
like them. I like all three, but the top two, mix them together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Salsa and guac and a quick queso.
No, I
That's
could throw all
absolutely-
three, and I mean, I could just.
Kendall can too.
Yeah. Rebecca's an overdipper. Are you an overdipper?
Yeah. But it's
Sure.
with my bride. I mean, we can do that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm 100% an overdipper.
you're an overdipper too.
Yeah.
What about double dipper though?
Well, as long as it's
You have
like you
strategy.
said,
Yeah, it's
with
my
the,
bride.
with the bride,
Like, it's okay.
with the bride, you're okay. If it's
Yeah.
family, it's okay.
In a restaurant with a football coach is not happening.
No, you don't
no,
go back.
No. I will say this. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
The best guacamole. So I worked a homicide case out in El Paso, Texas.
That's usually not the way you start an appetizing
Let me rephrase that.
conversation.
He killed that guacamole.
Yeah,
It was
my
delicious.
apologies. We worked a case. We ended up in El Paso, Texas. We get off the plane there, and we were working with a bunch of detectives from El Paso PD, Major Crimes Unit, and they're all Hispanic. So they took us to a Mexican restaurant on day one. Our suspect was in custody out there, and we went out there, and of course, and they said they tried to warn us. They said, "Hey, this guacamole is not like eating, Chili's back in St. Augustine,
Yeah,
Florida." They tried to warn us 3 or 4 times. Well, it was legit guacamole, and I'll just leave it like that.
Yeah,
it was
it was
a
like-
long night.
You got the back burn.
It was, yeah. Hey, touche.
It's
Nicely
just a
said.
long-lasting experience.
Yes. It was the gift that kept giving all night.
Yeah.
By the way, when you look at that case, Toby Lowry is the suspect, and Morgan Liepert. It's a heck of a case. She was 17. He was 18, and it was a brutal murder. And the two of them ran away like Bonnie and Clyde, trying to cross the border in El Paso. And they stopped and plugged in a
So it's
phone
like that movie.
to charge it in a Wendy's. And we had billboards, the digital billboards, all the way through Texas, all the way into El Paso. And they physically saw this female police officer in El Paso, drove around to Wendy's and saw a white young couple walking inside there. So she got out of her car and she's like, man, it looked familiar. And sure enough, it was Morgan Liepert and Toby Lowry. And the murder, if you read the story, it's a heck of a murder, but he full confession to me.
This is like the real life. What was it? Born in USA.
you're talking about-
Natural born.
There you go.
Natural born
Yeah.
Natural Born Killers. That was a
Born
freaky
Killers.
movie, by the way.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they
Very
they compared that case to that.
Not too, you're close. Natural Born Killers, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a weird
They
movie.
compared that case.
Weird.
Well, I'm a
Sorry.
salsa guy.
Salsa guy.
So if I have to choose all three, I'm a salsa guy. But I do have guac and salsa both in the fridge right now,
Yeah.
and I think I have some cheesy dip too. So I might have all three.
What's Rebecca? All three?
She'll switch moods, but I think she can go with all three too.
Yeah.
So
So you got to have a strategy with the double dip. If you dip it, take a bite, and then turn it over to the clean side of the chip, you can dip that.
With your husband, Amanda?
Of course.
It's not
no,
necessary.
No, with my kids.
no,
with my
okay.
kids.
Oh, yeah. See, my
Because you
kids
gotta
are.
teach them to
I'm
be.
tracking. My kids are 28 and 33. Those days are over with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got 9 to 16.
God bless you.
So, yeah. And my 9-year-old wanted to come today because she met you when you were on the evening show.
Aw.
And she heard that the sheriff was going to be here. So
Where's she at?
I go to wake her up, and she's like, I think I'm just going to sleep.
Oh,
It's early for her. We're homeschooled. We don't wake up this early.
we can make that happen, though.
Yeah. Okay. We did get to meet Sandy at the mock trial thing, though.
Okay, that's pretty cool. Well, we have a bomb dog now in the office of the sheriff
Yeah?
named Tonic, Stephanie Stewart. So if she wants to make that happen, then usually Steffi at the end will give her a stuffed animal of Tonic. Tonic's at a
that's awesome.
chocolate lab. Yeah.
Oh, my
Because
gosh.
we took our Sandy, you might not know this, she got the Sandy dog when she met Sheriff on the evening show.
That's right.
And she took it to Peru. And so I was taking pictures of Sandy in different places in Peru and sending it to the
very
sheriff.
nice.
we had Sandy come in, and Sandy stole the show.
She
Yeah.
did.
She
She
stole
will.
the show when
Yeah.
she came in.
I don't know, Mission Creep now. I think we got like 19 dogs in the sheriff's office. When I took over, we had like 7. So I'm not sure what happened. But we're trying out a brand new black. He's a Malinois. I would call him pointy ears, but he's all blacked out. Even his eyes are dark.
Oh, wow.
But he's coming on board. He'll be a single-purpose narcotics dog for $95.
Yeah,
That's an
Malinois
intimidating
are
dog.
different.
Oh, our dogs are so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is not a
guys
dog
afford
bite
this
for the record.
No?
No,
Okay.
but one of my deputies just get bit by us the other
I
day.
got one too.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
we're twinsies.
You guys are so tough with your
I
scars.
didn't get a Band-Aid, though. Yeah, my nurse didn't give me one.
Maeve took care of me. So
That's nice.
There's Maeve took care of me.
Of course.
All right, now it's time for a quick check of the weather. That quick check the weather is brought to you by Bin 39, tucked inside the St. George Inn at the north end of St. George Street. Bin 39 is St. Augustine's hidden gem, offering over 95 boutique wines, including 50 rated over 90 points by Robert Parker. Perfect for a quiet date or after work escape. Enjoy the rare wines by the glass or bottle in a charming courtyard setting. Open daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. with live music Thursday through Sunday. Come sip, relax, and say, I'll have what Irving's having. Discover your new favorite pour at Bin 39, your taste to discover. Blake, we've got to hit the Blakes. Traffic report.
All right, traffic.
Oh man, what does that say?
So all the cameras today are I-95. We have we have a camera of the rest stop near State Road 210, and there's currently 24 truck parking spots available. So if you are in a big rig, there's 24 spots available for you.
Go take a break.
Okay. Nicely said.
Take a nap.
Yeah, we'll slow it down here shortly when we get some more deputy sheriffs out there doing traffic stops.
Nice. I like the pink camera. What's going on there?
What is the pink camera? Is that something to do with the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, or what are we doing?
I think that camera's just broken.
It's FDOT
just
taxes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Doge cut the funding out.
Whoops, it happens. That traffic report is brought to you by Old Town Trolley. Hop aboard Old Town Trolley and discover over 500 years of St. Augustine's rich history and charm. Enjoy open-air views of iconic sites like the Castillo de San Marco, the Fountain of Youth, and Flagler's Grand Hotel. This 90-minute tour includes 22 convenient stops, 100-plus points of interest, and all-day hop-on, hop-off access. Your tickets also include free admission to the St. Augustine History Museum and more. St. Johns County residents ride free with a full fare guest. Sign up today at hometownpass.com. Old Town Trolley, the best way to see the nation's oldest city. All right, so we do have Sheriff Hardwick in. We've already brought you in.
Good morning.
We were talking yesterday about the e-bike.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're already talking about 95, so I kind of like to stick with that. And
Okay.
what you guys have been doing on I-95. Blake just posted it up there, and you mentioned it. So,
Sure.
Tell me what you guys are doing differently on I-95 than you were 6 months ago.
So the biggest thing, of course, is, and Troy, you remember this too, years and years ago, we were one of the spots in 95, the sections of 95 that per capita highest death rate, serious bodily injury on Interstate 95.
Yeah.
So of course,
AAA actually
yes, we were on the map. It wasn't a proud moment, but then again, it was kind of like, okay, we have a partnership with the state police, that's kind of their thing out there, even though we have jurisdiction out there just like they do. So anyway, again, this happened just recently, just if you say 6 months, roughly 6 months ago, we watched it increase again, serious bodily injury and death on Interstate 95, and the troopers doing the best they can to enforce and be proactive, but it's hard. They got got some new marching orders. They've been out as you know, in Texas and the border out there over the last couple of years with our governor. They've been down, of course, in the Keys, fighting the immigration coming across, illegal immigration coming across, I'd say. So they've been a little busy. So we just kind of picked it up and we sat down as staff and I say, hey, listen, we're going to go ahead and be more visible on Interstate 95 in reference to traffic crashes and enforcement. And I want to be, we're working hard. I want to be, when you click on AAA app or you click on the Waze app, I want them to say you're in this is a traffic trap in St. Johns County. I think that actually opens eyes and say they enforce traffic. So now our deputy sheriffs, we are basically pushing them up there saying, if you want to work 95 and you're just a deputy, not just a deputy, but you're a patrol deputy sheriff assigned to a zone, push you up on 95 and have a little fun on 95. It's easy to get, 618 traffic laws being violated on 95. So with that now, we have a lot of deputies that are up there enjoying working 95. And there's a lot of stuff going on up there, meaning there's trafficking in humans and kids and, guns and narcotics and all other kinds of things. So we're doing that, first of all. Also, too, of course, as you know, our task force men have been up there recently with the unmarked cars up there, really enforcing interdiction, of course, with this illegal immigration, but more so just trying to get a hold of people, that have committed crimes or wanted for crimes on Interstate 95 and let people know that we're enforcing a force multiplier on 95. So a lot of details. Usually every week or every other week, we run a Stone Garden Grant operation up there, which is our partnership. We did it this week. I think on Tuesday was a day I think I was up there. And that was our partnership with CBP, with Border Patrol, CBP, ICE, ERO, all those other entities, the FDLE, trying to get up there, of course, and go ahead and do some traffic enforcement along with immigration enforcement with our federal partners. So I just think yesterday I was on a 95 down south of State Road 2, in the area 206 and 207, and I was doing traffic stops. I did quite a few traffic stops out there on 95. Again, just trying to slow people down in our county, and also to let people know that if you're wanted in St. Johns County. And then last, we added license plate readers on Interstate 95 under 6 months ago, probably 3 months ago, I'm just guessing. We're adding some more license plate readers. We're the first jurisdiction that I know of that has license plate readers actually on the north boundary and the south boundary of Interstate 95. So you can kind of set those parameters how you want to, but our parameters right now are people that are wanted, based on car. If that car is wanted in another state or even in state or in county for a crime, or even wanted for questioning in a crime, those are in our database. Of course, stolen vehicles are on 95. So again, I just think that people are getting, the word is getting out there. We're not going to tolerate crime in St. Johns County.
All right, you mentioned stolen vehicles. You had a very interesting stolen vehicle recently. It's just, I don't even understand how this is possible, but tell us how this came to be.
So we're working the Stone Garden grant. Again, the only thing with the Stone Garden grant is some of that money can be recouped out of the federal government because we're working, federal interdiction on 95. So anyways, we had quite a few deputy sheriffs, not out of the ordinary. We had our deputy sheriffs that work our task force that is led by Lieutenant Jessica Hines and Sergeant Bobby Kukar. So we were out there, the task force, of course, working Interstate 95, and our license plate reader hit on a Penske rental truck, which is an 18-wheeler truck out of Texas that was wanted as stolen with a known suspect. So we know through our intel that a lot of those stolen trucks make it down to the Miami area. They get pushed onto Connexes and get pushed overseas and sold on the black market. So we had the truck. It was hit on license plate readers. Of course, we go looking for it on 95. There was 20 of us out there that day, so it was very easy to find. We found it on 95, and at first we thought he was going to take off from us, but we were actually probably contemplating in our head, like, how we're going to stop this truck being an 18-wheeler. But we had ways. We have Bearcats. We have large trucks, of course, that police our agricultural community. So he ended up stopping. He was wanted out of Texas for grand theft auto of a tractor trailer that was valued at just under $100,000. So little St. Johns County. I love it. I love when somebody's journey comes to an end in St. Johns County. I'm like, and we talked about before we went on the air, I was like, how does this truck make it all the way from Texas to St. Johns County? And I laughed. Right. It's just kind of crazy. And I'm proud of my men and women. They do such a good job. And we got males and females that are out there working, interdiction, proactive policing. They're just phenomenal. They're killing it in St. Johns County. I'm proud of them. Yeah.
All right. So she started off with the e-bike situation. Gosh. So I have a lot of questions on how it's going to get enforced. I understand the training and some of those things. And I think it's necessary to have some of these trainings in place, but I don't understand how, if they put this in place, how are you going to manage it from a law enforcement side, enforcing some of these things on a 12-year-old kid?
It's bike strips across the beach, right? That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
This
is
10 miles an hour on the beach.
I will tell you this, and we've had great conversations. Of course, we got some HOA meetings come up. And majority of this is kind of northern St. Johns County, just because that's the majority of our new neighborhoods. And I would say user-friendly, methods, or I should say, modes of transportation, means of transportation, bigger sidewalks, and they go through the neighborhoods and stuff like that. So again, this is something that we in the St. Johns County Sheriff's Office are trying to work the best we can with the county administration, but more so Rich Commando, the county attorney, to make sure, hey, what does this ordinance look like? But also, too, what are we going to enforce? So a little bit, I'm on my second term. I'm just going to tell you, this falls back on the parents and guardians and responsibilities and duties as a parent and guardian with their children. I don't remember buying my kid a bicycle that went 30 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour at 10, 11, 12 years old and go, hey, little Jimmy, go visit your friends that is 15 miles away. I'm not exaggerating, by the way. Yeah. Go visit your little friend this afternoon and go have a good time. Next thing you know, we have a kid, that gets hit by a car, or they don't know the roads and rules and regulations of how these cars act. So I don't want to see these kids hurt. Of course, we've had some significant bodily injury and death, even in Jacksonville. And with that being said, but I'm going to say, parents, step up and be a parent, for God's sakes. Help us out a little bit here. Yeah. But I've recommended that, hey, let's say we pull over a 10-year-old for a violation of, going 40 miles an hour on an e-bike on a sidewalk.
So crazy.
It's crazy. You got to see, if you were to, I hate to use the word Google, but if you were to Google these dirt bikes that are electric and watch the videos. These electric dirt bikes are upwards of 70 miles an hour.
That's crazy.
70 miles an hour. But this is my thing too as well. And this is a parent that they said, so you're telling me I gotta keep an eye on my kid when he leaves the house and has a helmet on? I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Why don't you tell your kid, if I catch you with your helmet off, I'm going to take your bike away. I mean, let's not, I feel bad here, but God forbid we upset the little kids, by the way, and tell them we're going to take something away from them. But, with that, again, what does enforcement look like? I think it's like everything else. We use discretion. We have our deputy sheriffs using their discretion. We have an e-bike rally this weekend where they're going to, like they do in Orlando with motorcycles. It's not going to go well for y'all in St. Johns County. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to play that garbage.
Seinfeld with
my goodness
all the
gracious.
Rascals.
Oh my!
The rascal bars.
I forgot about that. Yeah. But again, so it looks like this. It looks like the ordinance being passed, just like the other ordinances are out there now, and us having another tool for our deputy sheriffs to enforce when necessary. But if you're going to see us stopping a bunch of kids on a sidewalk with no helmets on, I hope you understand, as deputy sheriffs, we got other things we have to do.
Well, and that was my concern is, especially in these HOAs, and there's, I know there's a Karen out there watching, but I'm going to use the term the Karens out there.
Karens.
Sure,
we love Karens.
Me too.
But I could just see them saying, "Well, if they don't have their helmets, you need to go give them."
It's going on now.
Yeah,
to this day.
And I think you guys have the ability to use your discretion of when it needs to be done.
Yeah,
but I think it's the citizens that put the pressure on you in a situation like this. Now that they know they have this law behind them.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, you've been in sports your whole life.
Yes, sir.
You have an official that read the rule book that day, and then he goes out and figures out a way to enforce the
every rule.
And every possible rule. That's the worst referee.
Yeah.
And in this situation, I think you nailed it with saying, your officers have the discretion to handle and prioritize what's important in that situation. And
well, what we don't do now is we don't say go out there and do this, go out there and do that. Now, if we got an issue in a neighborhood or an area, whether it's burglaries, car burglaries, or whether it's drunk driving or speeding, we initiate some type of how are we going to fix this problem or address this problem? Not fix it, but address it. It's not going to be any different than the e-bikes, but the problem is that these e-bikes are so prevalent. These kids aren't even pedaling anymore, by the way. Mm-hmm. It's so sad because we've taken their little bit of outdoor activity of pedaling a bicycle away from them. So with that being said, again, our deputy sheriffs will be taught on the ordinance and said, if you want to use it, it's a tool. If not, but to go out there and just start writing tickets to kids out there, that's not how we do business in St. Johns County. My thing is like we do now. If we have a contact or negative contact with a child, a kid, we contact the parents going, this is your responsibility, not ours. Yeah. We don't babysit for a living. So go ahead and come pick your kid up in your e-bike that was going 48 miles an hour on a sidewalk and take them home and educate them. So again,
isn't there supposed to be limitations on those? I mean, I thought they weren't allowed to go over 28 miles an hour.
There is, but these bikes are selling now. I mean, they're scooting along.
Mine goes 28. Pretty much. And let me tell you, that's getting it.
It is getting it. Well, I think you remember when we got our e-bikes at the sheriff's office for patrol, we have quite a few now, but when we first got them maybe a year ago, Director Beaver and I got on them because we just got them from a factory build here, I think in Central Florida or Northeast Florida somewhere. We got on it. I took off from the sheriff's office, got on US 1 and started heading southbound on US 1. I was keeping up with traffic at 46 miles an hour. Mm-hmm. And they clocked Scott Beaver on over here by Collins Avenue going by St. Augustine High School at 47 miles an hour. And we're big boys. Mm-hmm. And we were like, oh my goodness.
He's not as big as he used to be.
No, he's not. But anyways, they clocked us and I said, we cannot have our deputies doing 47 miles an hour on a bicycle. But then again, they go to the schools and they're trained from that. Now the kids are running from us on there. I mean, it's put us in a bad predicament, but we got to make right decisions and we got to do the best we can. But we're going to do an educational push, which you probably all got this recently as your kids get ready to exit school for the summertime. We just put out a big push, and Tim Forson and his staff allowed us to do that with an educational piece, kind of describing the bikes and what the rules and regulations are. But right now, as it sits today, it falls under a bicycle statute. So it doesn't limit speed because I never thought these things would be doing this fast. So anyways, we fought the golf cart battle, as you remember, 2 years ago up in mostly northern St. Johns County, changed the Florida state statute, but there's no interest right now at the state level, legislative level, to change the e-bike statute right now. There was no interest.
Does this law include the scooters too?
Yeah.
It's so subjective, argumentative, and it's almost like, I hate to even use this terminology, but it's almost like the synthetic drugs, right? Every time they create a law that says you can enforce this type of synthetic drugs in mixture and cocktail, then they change the cocktail.
They change the formula.
Yeah. So what's happening now is the market out there is, I mean, I saw a kid the other day. I know you've seen him too, Troy, because it's over our neck of the woods. But there's not a kid. I would say he's probably mid-30s. He rides a single axle bike, usually holds his pit bull dog in his arm, rides over the Bridge of Lions, rides on Anastasia. The guy's got a gift, for God's sakes, but he's cooking, man.
That's some balance.
It is. It's pretty impressive, to be honest with you. Yeah. I want to meet you, by the way. I've been trying to pull you over, but you're pretty fast.
I know him if you want me to introduce him.
Awesome.
Oh, do you really?
Yeah, I don't think he wants to meet law enforcement, but
yeah, I don't know how.
I do know who I know him.
I've just seen him actually going over the bridge on Anastasia with the dog. I'm like, okay, you're talented, dude. Yeah. I mean, seriously, yeah.
I'd be scared.
How do I pit that thing? How would I pit it with my vehicle, my bumper? No, I'm just kidding, Blake. I heard Blake laughing back there. I'm not pitting you. I'm just kidding, brother.
Pitting a pit. So.
Yeah. Anyway, so just it's we got a lot to learn, but the community's got to help us out. You got to take responsibility, educate your children, and we're seeing more and more injuries. There was a death up in Jacksonville recently. A kid in St. Augustine is still fighting to get back on his feet. Here, you got to help us out and police these children. I mean, it's just it's getting ridiculous.
I just don't. Like I said, I've got 9 to 16-year-old. And it's scary enough for my 16-year-old to be in a vehicle, much less to be going at high speeds on a bike or on a scooter.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a helicopter parent, but I can't imagine sending my kids out into the world on an e-bike that can go up to 40 miles per hour at 10 years old.
Amanda, you're not a helicopter parent.
Mind-blowing.
You were given God's gift of a child, and now you got to do a thing called parenting.
Yeah.
And sometimes those hard decisions are, you're not going to get a bike that goes 40 miles an hour. But Mom, I'm 6. I mean, it's like these phones. We get these cases, and the mom or dad takes the phone, or guardian takes the phone away, and the kid runs away.
Yeah.
I'm like, because you have allowed them to be so dependent on an electronic device. Mm-hmm. But I see other kids out there that I coach in football and stuff, and they don't even have access to phones, and they don't miss it.
Yeah,
they don't know any different. Yeah. So I don't know. It's called parenting. I think you're doing a good job.
Thanks.
I'll give you a B.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm a helicopter parent too.
Yeah,
Blake, I still am.
Would you agree, Blake?
I can definitely hear the chopper blades underneath my head right
now. Yeah. Blake, if it makes you feel any better, I'm still a helicopter pilot. My kids are 33 and 28, and one's flying a helicopter.
I was going to say one's a pilot.
One is a pilot. He uses it all day long. Yeah.
All right.
Those blades.
The national one, I think that's one thing you wanted to talk about.
We wanted to do immigration enforcement?
Yeah.
All right. Immigration enforcement strategy. You mentioned a little bit about some of your interactions with CBP and ICE. Can you speak to a little bit? What's your department's approach to handling this professionally aggressive, as you said?
I've done a lot of stuff, of course, on Fox and local media platforms too as well. I'm just trying to really just, applaud our people for doing the right thing and being professionally aggressive, but also too doing this before we were kind of asked or told to do it. But this is my thing, and I keep saying this out there, and I don't mean to kind of beat a dead horse per se, but if you've committed a crime, whether you're here illegally or legally, we're going to hold you accountable for your actions. That's the first thing. I mean, I don't care what your race, creed, color, religion, sexual orientation, or age is. You commit a crime, we hold you accountable for your actions to the best of our abilities, and then it's in the hands of society. But this 280G program, I'm proud to tell you that when I became the sheriff 4.5 years ago on my first term, it was something that we're passionate about too. That do we have the right tools in place to hold people accountable and enforce the federal part of this, meaning that if they fall under deportation, can we work with our federal partners? So I've been successful in my career because I surround myself with people that are better and stronger than me. Also, I surround myself with other resources that we can pick up the pieces that may not be available to us, which is our federal partners, our state partners, our local partners, not-for-profit partners. So in this particular case, our federal partnerships are and this fell under, at the time, Lieutenant Josh Underwood, who is now Commander Josh Underwood, where he had the partnerships with our federal partners really on the water side of the house. Okay. Because we have 201 square miles of water that we police. And matter of fact, we were 35 miles offshore on an drug interdiction thing with our federal partners last night. That's that partnership and relationship. So you look at the 287G program, which was already in effect, by the way, prior to our current president. So the 287G program was there, which basically said, hey, partnerships, we want those partnerships with our state partners, our local partners, sheriff's offices that control jails like mine. So we have the 287G program. There's actually 3 prongs to that 287G program. The first prong is called the WSO program, which is the Warrant Service Officer program. I currently have 30 deputy sheriffs in my jail that fall under that program, which means they are certified to help the federal government once a person has been criminally charged and then brought to my jail, not on a federal charge, on a local charge. Okay. They're brought to my jail, and then they're run through a process called IAQ, which is Immigration Alien Query. It's no different than when your fingerprints are rolled in jail, and they're actually checked through the National Crime Information Database, the Florida Crime Information Database, and now a drop-down menu of Immigration Alien Query, meaning basically, are you wanted by the federal government for their violation? Here's the fact of the matter. If you enter into the United States of America, it's illegal. It's a crime. It's not a local crime. It's a federal crime, but it's still a crime. So anyway, so with that, again, under that 287G program, we help with the follow-up investigation in the jail. So what's happening now is if we don't have a few IAQs run in the jail a day, it's out of the ordinary. And then what comes out of that under the IAQ, it may say that ERO, which is Enforcement Removal Operations under Border Patrol and under HSI, that means you are wanted to be removed, or at least for a hearing to be removed for deportation from the United States of America. So with that, it shows up and it'll say detainer. They will come down and do basically a interview, an investigation, and then they may take you away that day. Okay. So that's the WSO program. The task force model we have in effect now. We talked about that earlier. Our task force is teamed up with federal, state, and local government to be that other hand of the federal government to help them enforce illegal people that are here, whether they committed a crime or they're wanted for a federal crime, which is basically came in the country legally. And then the last section, of course, is our jail enforcement model. They call it the JEM program, Jail Enforcement Model Program. We are currently not part of that JEM program. Currently, the only jails that are in the JEM program are Duval, Clay, Collier, Hernando, and I'm missing one. And then those are the only ones in there. We have submitted our paperwork to Miami saying we want to be a part of that jail enforcement model. Okay. It's just another arm of the federal law trying to hold people accountable for their actions. So we're in that process there. So I think we're doing it better than everybody else. I'll be honest with you. Our numbers are better than any other agency in Northeast Florida right now. I think we were at 171 of being at least detained for investigation reasons for the federal government. Like yesterday, I ran IAQs. I was doing traffic stops on 95, and I was running IAQs through the dispatch center. So they are running IAQs in our dispatch, the immigration alien queries in there. And again, we're just trying, but we're not, this is one thing we're not doing. We're not going to the job site at, Volano and the bridge over there and saying, everybody, pull out your cards. We're not doing, that's not our job. Our job is to hold people accountable for their actions, just like we hold you Americans, the same thing. And then last thing I'll say in there is that, in this 287G program, we can hold them up to 48 hours in our county jail. But if they had not committed a crime, but after 48 hours in 1 minute, if the federal government does not come down and get them, we have to technically by law release them. And that's exactly what we're doing. But with our partnerships and relationships we're doing now, we are running those IAQs. We're sending pictures of the people in the car, sending it off to our federal partners. They can do their database check right away and say, hold that person, we're coming to get him. Or can you transport that person to Enforcement Removal Operations Office in Jacksonville? We'll take it from there. So I think we're just doing things a little better than everybody else. And we're not doing anything different than, one thing we're not doing is this. If you're not familiar with the H2A program and H2 Bravo program, we have a lot of people here in St. Johns County on the H2 Alpha program. Agricultural. That means that a farmer has requested for 100 workers to come help out for the year of 2025 through the federal government. And then the federal government, they do the process and send those farmer or the helping hands to that farmer. Okay. And then that farmer is basically in charge of them and reports to the federal government while they're here working. When the contract is up, those workers get back on the plane and head back to where they came from, Honduras, Nicaragua, wherever, Mexico. And then what's happening here, from what the farmers tell me, they'll do another request next year. And sometimes they request the same exact people saying they worked hard. They don't. There's no drama, no arrest. They work hard and they go back. So we do have the H2 program going on in St. Johns County. Not a lot of the Bravo program. The Bravo program would be that, I don't know, ABC Construction says, I want 50 workers to help me build a condo complex on Volano Bridge in Volano Island, and then they say, okay, we're going to send you there. I don't know how many of those are in St. Johns County. We know because the farming community is very, very close to us. These construction companies are all from all over the world. We don't know what they're doing over there.
Right on.
So that's what we got going on.
So the last question I'll ask on this is, there's a lot of criticism right now as far as immigration policy and enforcement. How would you handle criticisms about local law enforcement handling federal immigration? So
the way I just explained it to you is we've always done it that way. That's been an agreement that we've had for years. The only thing now is it's in everybody's face because it's all over the national media, because the current president, when he ran, that was one of his priorities, was immigration. We were doing this 3 years ago, when we became the sheriff, no one cared. Yeah. We're doing it now, the same thing we're doing. The only thing different is it's all over national media, and I've been on national media too. So other than that, though, it's normal business, normal operations. Our citizens aren't saying a whole lot. The most I'm hearing from our citizens are, is it a crime to enter our country illegally? Yes. It's. I don't know what more to say to you.
That's
it's
what the word illegally means.
Illegal is, right? Yeah. I guarantee you illegally enter Russia, I bet you get into custody and don't come back home. You're darn right. And I'm telling you, every South American country will treat you the same way. You enter those countries illegally and they don't know you're in their country with a passport validation, you will be charged accordingly. Yeah. Why are we any different here? I don't get it.
How much of it is they're entering illegally, or they're coming in illegally and then staying beyond? Like a lot of the people,
visas and stuff.
A lot of the people that I've seen getting in trouble right now came to the country legally, and then they just kind of wandered into society and got kind of acclimated and then became regular. And I mean, I know someone right now who's detained in Texas who's been here for like 5 years, completely thought he was legal, and he was using his brother's ID the entire time. So how much is that happening more than when I think illegal, I think of the coyotes bringing them across
that's
the
Rio
Grande and that. But I think, isn't the problem more they come here legally and then just stay?
Yeah. What we're actually finding too, as well, is it's called an asylum hearing. So what they're doing is they're missing their asylum hearings. Like the guy got off 95 a few weeks ago. They wanted him because he failed to show up for his asylum hearings. So here he came to our country because he was sexually battered by a gang in the country he came from, and he failed to show up for his asylum hearings. So he could have actually stayed here legally if he just went to his asylum hearings. Yeah. But the problem is, of course, is I think what you're seeing now is that, well, first of all, what I hate seeing is this, is like I did a traffic stop yesterday. It was two Hispanic males and a Hispanic female and a baby in the car. And they're heading back home from Jacksonville down to Hialeah, Florida. And two of them spoke good English, very good English, and the one in the middle spoke hardly any English at all. But I hate the fact, it's like the way they were looking at me, it's like, oh God, here we go. Law enforcement, we're Hispanic. It's almost like profiling. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I just simply said, man, you're in the left-hand lane. You're holding up. The whole line of traffic is behind you. He's like, I was doing the speed limit. I said, I know. I said, but you're obstructing traffic flow. Like the whole, you got a mess behind you. You and the 18-wheeler are physically side by side doing the same speed limit. And everybody behind you you're going to cause a traffic crash. He didn't understand that. And I said, by the way, you went out of your lane 2 times. I was behind you 4 cars back, and you were going back and you check braked a couple of times. He's like, I'm physically falling asleep. I said, dude, you're welcome. I pulled you over. I said, I did not pull you over because you're Hispanic. And he said that. I said, how would I know you're in the red truck you're driving, you're Hispanic with dark tinted windows? You're the one holding everybody up. If you would have been flowing with traffic in the middle lane or the right lane, I never would have paid attention to you. Yeah. He was super cool, young kid and young family. But I hate the fact that people are looking at law enforcement going, oh my God, I'm no, don't look like you, white America, blonde hair, blue eyes like I do. They look at me like I'm going, no, I don't want that in St. Johns County. Yeah. There are so many great people that are here illegally. We are a melting pot of every race, creed, color, religion, sexual orientation, age. And I don't want this to hurt us. But we got to hold people accountable for their actions. Yeah. So,
Sheriff, we're going to jam through a couple sponsors.
Come on.
I really want to talk to you about mental health, because it is Mental Health Awareness Month. But we're going to knock some of those out, and then we'll be right back.
Please,
with that.
Right. Yes, sir.
Brief break. Gas Buddy Gas Report. Tell us in the comments what gas prices are looking like in your area. We've got the Gate at Mizell at $2.78. We've got Shell at 146 King Street at $2.87. Circle K on 207 is at $2.87. Shell at Ponce de Leon Boulevard is $289. Owens on South Ponce is $289. Mobile South Ponce $289 as well. So is the Sunoco on South Ponce. Gate is at $295. Circle K on US 1 North is $295. A1A discount beverage is $299. That's your high end today for the Gas Buddy Gas Report. That Gas Buddy Gas Report is brought to you by Chris Lucero Bail Bonds. Are you or someone you know in trouble with the law? The sheriff's right here. I won't tell. And in need of immediate bail assistance, look no further than Chris Lucero Bail Bonds. Their team of experienced professionals is available 24/7 to provide fast and reliable bail services, ensuring that you and your loved one can get out of jail and get back to your life as soon as possible. They understand that this can be stressful and an overwhelming time, which is why they strive to make the bail process as easy and straightforward as possible. Their team will guide you through every step of the process, from filling out the necessary paperwork to securing your release from jail. Always remember this number, 904-822-BAIL, 904-822-2245. We're going to do a brief foray into the musical world. We've got a live music report today. We're going to start at 5 p.m. because there's a ton of bands. We've got Thick and Thin String Band at Marina Munch, 5 p.m. Crunch Buzz at Outback Crab Shack, 5 p.m. All these are going to be at 5 until I change. Beck and Summers Band at the Ty's Oyster Company and Grill. We've got Dewey Via Band at Via. Every time. Dewey Via at Boathouse St. Augustine. New Guys on the Dock at O.C. White's Restaurant. Chubby McGee Funkadelic Food Shack is at 5:30. We're changing times. Jim Aselta at Schooner's Seafood House is also 5:30. House Cats at Shea Lamore at 6 p.m. Burn Unit at Fusion, 904 Eatery, also 6. We've got a bunch of 6 p.m.s. All right, Jeremy Price at Hilton St. Augustine Historic Bayfront. Zaza Flamenca at La Cocina at the Cellar upstairs, also 6. Caleb Joy at Mellow Mushroom, Anastasia Island. Stu Weaver at Reef Restaurant. Vinny Jacobs at Oasis Deck and Restaurant. Landfall at Pescavillano by Michael Lugo, also 6.
There's nothing to do in St. Augustine.
I know, not a single thing. Fawn Kisser is our last one at Salt Life Food Shack at 6 p.m. We've got Light Watch at Sabrage Charters of St. Augustine, 7 p.m.
That's Sabrage Charters. That's the boat that takes off from. Nice. Oh my God, it's beautiful. Kind of like one that one time. Yeah.
Let's go on it.
Yeah.
Jolie at Casa de Vino, 57. Also 7 p.m. Space Heaters at Pierre Pub, 7 p.m. Davey Knowles at Cafe 11, 8 p.m. Matt Wilson at Cortesi's Bistro, 8 p.m. Honey Moonshine at Milltop Tavern, 9 p.m. Paper City Hustlers at Prohibition Kitchen, 10 p.m. And Versatile at Bar No Name at 10 p.m.
Okay. Are you exhausted?
We we condensed it. We didn't pick it up until 5 o'clock. There was equal to that from like 1 to 5.
Wow.
It just and people are like, oh, there's nothing to do here
at noon. From noon to 4, there was a whole other
today.
Page. Yeah,
that's all today.
Just a walk around downtown. You're gonna get music somewhere.
It's Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah.
That's not why. Yeah. Was that Jim Assalta, like local Jim Assalta?
Yeah, that's Jim. You know.
Really? Yeah. Okay. All right.
That music report brought to you by Fidus Roofing. Fidus Roofing is your local go-to for 15 years. And guess what? All their employees live right here in St. Johns County. They are master elite contractors, which means they can offer warranties that no one else can touch. They love the community and they love you, so you know you're in good hands. 904-355-ROOF.
They do pavers
and gutters.
All right, so we paid the bills. We have checked all the boxes.
Wow.
Check the boxes.
We can get back to you.
All right.
You can rest for a minute, Amanda. My goodness gracious. Exhausted.
I'm so glad you're here.
God bless.
All right.
You know, I like to talk, so I can give you a break.
Happy Friday.
Well, the funny thing is Blake loaded us with like in case we needed to questions.
You never know.
And he did like 12 questions.
Blake, you waste your time when I'm here, buddy.
And that's what I told him. I was like, we need 2.
Yeah, I don't waste your time anymore.
I appreciate the work, though, man. I love that you
never
didn't leave me hanging.
I might get tired and exhausted on term 3 and just say I'm not talking today.
Yeah.
I want my attorney present.
Lead the fit.
All right. So it is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Right.
With law enforcement, and we're going to have some people come in from fire rescue. There's a bill over there for the fire rescue and how they're handling some of the mental health issues of depression and some of the actions that comes out of first responders in a lot of ways. You have been in the military. and you've been in law enforcement pretty much your entire adult life.
Yep.
You've seen some things that normal people don't see.
Yeah.
How important is it to you as the sheriff to make sure your staff is protected from themselves in situations like this?
First of all, it's the number one priority. And when I became the sheriff here in 4.5 years ago, I brought a psychologist on board with us named Dr. Tracy Hedgemanowski, and Colonel Ann Johnson was helping out at the time. And that was something I actually started at the St. Augustine Beach Police Department at a much smaller scale with like a SHIELD program. But this isn't, you just can't think, and this is no disrespect to my deputy sheriffs, but I also have office staff that are reading reports on a child being sexually battered, domestic violence, homicide, shootings. I mean, go on and on. I mean, so it's a much bigger picture than just, we got to focus on the people that wear my uniform in my agency, which is 562 of us. So we took a holistic approach saying, mental health is not just mental health. It's financial health, it's spiritual health, it's your fitness, your nutritional health. So we took a holistic approach and say, hey, we're going to provide all these resources. And I think in the big scheme of things, it's going to help them on the mental health side. So again, the psychologist was kind of step one with the SHIELD program, accessible person that is experienced. She's a military veteran. She knows what she's doing. She's approachable. She's got a personality to die for. So that was our first thing. Get this in there, get that involved. Next thing I said, we always talk about finances because in our profession, you can't pay the bills sometimes. I think they do a better job now since we've increased the pay so much over 4 years, but you got to always think that finances causes other things, substance abuse, mental health issues, it causes divorce and suicides and stuff like that. So we have currently 3 financial advisors on board too as well. Therapy dogs walking around, accessible sheriff, going back faith-based. And I know this sounds kind of crazy. I'm not trying to cram, faith down anybody's throat, but I'm trying to say that it's another aspect, another avenue where you can fall back on for mental health. And, sometimes I go to church sometimes with my wife and, I go to the Basilica and it's quiet in there and I just pray. I mean, because I know that place is where I can actually spill my guts out, of things that I did overseas, of course, in combat that I'm not proud of, but things we did to survive and how we came home. But then also too, we beefed up our peer-to-peer sport. There's nobody better that can talk about the sound of a child trapped in a car on Interstate 95 where their parents are no longer alive, the smell of a body burning in a house fire. I mean, I'm not trying to say this stuff. I'm just trying to say there's just certain things that are hard to explain, but it goes even deeper too. My corrections staff in there going into a cell on a check at 2:00 in the morning, someone is hanging by a bed sheet that took their own life. I don't care what you think about that because they're in jail and they don't deserve to die in jail, for goodness sakes. They're battling something internally or possibly externally. So we did all these things in the agency, and then we brought a nutritionist on staff. We have a personal trainer on staff. We have gyms where our deputy sheriffs can work out. The other day, somebody beat me up saying, "Are your deputies playing pickleball out behind the sheriff's office?" You're damn right they are. If that's a mental health and a breaker we can use after work, you get out of your uniform and your coworkers can work together and play together and form that bond and relationship. Yeah, you're darn right we're doing it out there. But anyway, so those are just some things that we did better. And then what we saw was a reduction in internal affairs complaints, a reduction in sick leave usage, a reduction in vacation usage, which is not a good thing, but it's another thing though too as well. And a reduction in officer-involved shootings, a reduction in, of course, our deputy sheriffs making mistakes outside of the uniform, meaning when they're home with their loved one or their family, or just simply by themselves. So I think with all that coming together, and then now what you see is with all that in place, we provide a better service to our consumers, the visitors. So I think we're just doing a good job with that. And I do this on a 3-prong approach. The first prong is what I just talked about. The second prong, of course, we'll just touch briefly on this, is my co-responder unit for you as citizens. So now we have a deputy sheriff that has taken a liking to the mental health crisis out there, substance abuse crisis out there. He, in this particular case, rides with a female who's a clinician. She specializes in social work. So now we have a social worker sitting in the car side by side with us, and they follow up on all Baker Acts, substance abuse cases, runaway children, and I think you're going to see a reduction. We're going to add a clinician now in the office that triages all of our reports. University of Florida Health is paying for that. Add another co-responder unit. And then in the jail side of the house, this is my third prong, is we got to make them better than what they came back in as. So let's get them, our mental health professionals, involved in their life. Maybe get them on the right medicine, get them back on their feet, get them a job, get them back in the homes where they came from. And I think you're going to see a total approach of all 3 prongs, the ones in our jail, the ones that we are responding to for service, and the people that provide the service.
All right. You provide something that, I mean, these women are amazing. I don't know if you have any gentlemen in this, but like the victim advocates.
They're amazing.
And they are just absolutely
they got a gift from God.
Amazing what they do. Can you talk and I want you to brag on how amazing these people are and how important they are to our community.
Yeah. So the Victim Advocate Services, of course, fall under our criminal investigation division. And these ladies, have a gift. They've been doing this a long time. Of course, they've been involved in some of our most high profile cases, including, Ashley. She was involved in the Tristan Bailey case, which today is the 4th anniversary for that Tristan Bailey case. But those women, again, and just we happen right now to have women in that. Cindy was transferred out of there. She had a gift too, but she wanted something a little bit more. It's time consuming. They get really invested in these families, but also they look for victims crime comp, trying to see how they can recover some money to help them get back on their feet, maybe with a significant or violent crime. So they are, and also too, we use them on internally too as well. And we have, I've had 3 officers, deputy sheriffs, dying in line of duty in 4 years since I've been your sheriff. Which will honor them today and recognize them today. But with that, again, we need the internal power too of people that are specialized in this. So they have a gift. It's sexual battery cases, domestic cases, homicides, robberies, and sometimes it's a very minor case where maybe a theft of your house, but they took some personal, heirlooms from your family that are very, very significant to maybe a lost one or something like that. So they're phenomenal. All 3 women that work in there right now have a gift from God, and that we're truly blessed to have them in the agency providing services to our community.
All right. Well, thank you, Sheriff.
Appreciate you.
Perfect. We got to let you go at some point. So,
yes. I got to make it out to a ceremony, so this is perfect.
Yeah. So we appreciate you, and we appreciate you being always a person who picks up the phone.
Yep. Always
for all the community. So
sure.
Even though you're our second term guy.
I'm a second term guy. So I just want to put out the 2 of you that anything you see that comes out by your constituents, your listening group, please reach out to me directly, and we will provide you clear, concise, and accurate and factual information. All right. Looking forward to working with you.
We did have one last comment from a viewer.
E-bike.
Go Air Force.
Go Air Force. I can only imagine. Bobby. Yes, go Air Force too. Yeah, we need a ride somewhere in the Army.
Yeah. How do you think we got to the fight?
True statement. Yeah. Appreciate y'all. Have a good weekend and God bless. Thank you
so much, Sheriff. All right, Troy, how do you want to check the comments?
I will frantically finagle my way into the formidable fans' findings.
That's a lot. All right, BNS Signs. Want your business to stand out and stay that way? Trust the experts at BNS Signs, family owned and proudly serving St. Augustine for over 50 years. From eye-catching vinyl lettering to massive pylon signs, they offer a full range of custom signage solutions. Their experienced team handles everything from design and installation to crane service, repairs, and ongoing maintenance. With their fast, responsive service, your sign goes up quickly and keeps looking like new. Visit bnssigns.com. We also have St. Augustine Handy House. Looking for the perfect custom prefab portable building? Look no further than St. Augustine Handy House. Proudly owned by the Troy Usina Enterprises, conveniently located in St. Augustine, Florida, this family-owned business has been serving the community since 1988. Whether you're looking for a shed, barn, office space, or carport, St. Augustine Handy House has the highest rated handy house structures in the industry, built with a focus on quality and durability. Troy Usina's journey began when he purchased his first handy house structure, and today his company has grown from just 7 buildings to over 70 structures in stock, with fully customizable options to fit your exact needs. The best part? Troy and his team will deliver, level, and anchor your building free of charge. Open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. St. Augustine Handy House makes it easy to find exactly what you need. Financing options are available through their in-house financing company, ensuring you get the best structure at an affordable price. Plus, as a licensed contractor, they guarantee your building will meet all state and local codes. Call 904-823-9092 today and discover why so many customers choose St. Augustine Handy House for their portable building needs. Troy, comments report.
All right. Wawa's at $2.78. Costco is at $2.79. The BP is also at $2.79. In Spokane, $3.79. Woo! Ouch.
Ooh, go for
Appreciate Robin waking up with us. A lot of love went out there to the sheriff. I had the Bobby Go Air Force also, so I wanted to make sure we got it covered. Salsa, I think, nudged out queso.
No way.
And then guac was the distant third.
Yeah, I believe it.
So it's just, I guess some people just don't do the avocado stuff.
It ain't as easy as being green.
All right. And thank you, Justin Dolan, for the stars. Appreciate you always, and appreciate everyone listening. And great comments. We had almost 90 comments today on the show. So
Happy Friday to everybody.
Yeah.
We got a Stoidum stat today?
Stoidum stat. Okay, it's weird. Today, I don't know if I'm the only one that finds this, the irony in this.
Uh-huh.
So in 1960, FDA approved the pill. Okay.
The pill.
The pill.
Okay.
But in 1914, Woodrow Wilson proclaimed the first official Mother's Day.
Did they do that on purpose?
Do we see the conflict?
They had to have done that on purpose.
Do we see the conflict? It happens on the same day.
If you use one, you don't get the other.
You don't become the other.
Yes. Well, if you use it correctly.
Well, good point. Yeah. Good point. Good point. But in 1914, and it is Mother's Day weekend. Thank you to all you amazing mothers out there. Make sure it's Friday. You have 2 days to take care of this. Make sure you're taking care of the one that took care of you.
Thank you to all the amazing moms out there. They say moms hold up the sky, and I mean, my arms are tired.
Yeah.
That's Stoidum Stat brought to you by St. Augie's Pizza in downtown St. Augustine, right on the corner of Riberia and MLK. Get yourself a delicious slice today. Have some of those garlic knots, too. They are super yummy.
We ate there last night.
Awesome.
Augie and the crew just crushing it.
They always do. Got plugs, Troy?
All right, just plugs. It's Mother's Day weekend this weekend. Enjoy that. But we also the farmers market at
the AMP.
At the AMP is closed.
Why are they closed this weekend?
Because of Flagler graduation.
Congrats, all you amazing graduates! What a lovely gift you gave your mother graduating from college. Yeah. One, you had that achievement, and two, they don't have to pay for college anymore.
Yeah, they're off the hook for that one.
Do you have any plugs, Blake?
Yeah, I definitely do. So immediately after this, I'm running over to the Apollo Tennis Center because we are hosting the first round of the NCAA tournament. We have 2 matches today. Flagler plays at 10 a.m.
Awesome. All right, everybody, share some love with all those mothers in your life. Don't forget to like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to YouTube. Bollocks tonight? No bollocks tonight. It's Friday. No bollocks tonight. No. Enjoy your weekend.
Monday. Bye.